Hello again. I've just watched a video on another channel about the American flag protests in a professional sport in the US, and with the American foot players taking the knee and locking arms. And there's a guy playing for the Tampa Bay Lightning called JT Brown. He's a young African American black hockey player, which is a rare thing. In that sport, it's a very rare thing to have that kind of minority. And at the moment, they are well represented. Actually, there's quite a lot. You've got the Subban brothers. You've got Ward at San Jose. So there's quite a lot of black players at the moment, which is good to see. However, he protested during the national anthem before the game, and this is something that I whinge about a lot. So I don't understand why they have national anthems before the games in ice hockey and American football and things like that. But anyway, that's another story. He raised his arm to show solidarity with the protest movement, and it's not just for poor black people. There are poor working class white people in America who feel left behind, and there are poor Hispanics, Native Americans. There's a big wealth divide in America that's getting bigger. Areas are getting left behind. Young people are falling victim to. There's many layers to it. Anyway, he's now received death threats, and I thought hockey fans were decent people. Why? Celebrities get death threats all the time. Sportsmen, obviously, there have been death threats to sportsmen before. But he is showing solidarity with a protest movement because he disagrees with something that he sees. And he's not on big money. Ice hockey players at his entry-level contracts are not on big money. He's lucky to make $700,000 a year, which is a lot of money, true. But Wayne Rooney can make the same amount of money in 3 weeks that he makes in a year, so that says something about the disparity in pay as well. Anyway, he's received death threats, and it is wrong. Sports and politics should try to stay as separate as possible because sport should be a distraction away from our political and social ills, and it should be positive. And I agree with why they're protesting. How they're protesting about it, I don't agree with necessarily, but that's America for you. Not my country. I don't care. Personally, my view on America is very negative at the moment. Individual Americans, fine. As a country as a whole, there is a problem with wealth disparity, issues within ethnic groups being segregated because you've got every major city has problems with a wealthy area surrounded by a poor black area, a poor Oriental area, for example, a poor Eastern European neighbourhood or street, a poor white area in general, Hispanic, and then you've got a small Hispanic area, and then there's gangs controlling these areas as well. And look at Chicago, it's just a bloodbath. Look at Baltimore, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, Oriental, right, Eastern European, Western European, Northern European, it doesn't matter if you're Caucasian, black, Hispanic, you are getting shot at. And the murder rate in Baltimore is like 1 every 19 hours. There's 365 days in a year this year because there's no leap year, and the murder rate is more than 1 a day. And Baltimore is not the biggest city in the US. This is what the protests are about. But now, a sportsman who is using his public profile as a sportsman and as a community leader, because when he goes back to his hometown in the off season and they go, my God, we have someone who's risen from this poor area, is doing well, it's a success story. He can inspire young people, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, to do better things. He's not getting death threats. Why? It shows there is many things wrong with America, especially just after what happened the other day in Vegas, with that horrific mass shooting, which beggars belief how, all those guns were legally purchased as well. So there you go. America's got problems and refuses to deal with them. And with President Trump in the White House, Jesus Christ, he's now threatening, like, he's basically, in his eyes, if he was the boss of any of those sports franchises, if he was the owner of an NFL, NHL, baseball, basketball, of a sports team, and a player protested, that player has lost his contract, that player is fired, that player is out. That player's out of a job for standing up for his right to protest, his right to freedom of speech. Why? And I was going to do a video on Jaromir Jagr, but this is just seeing that and hearing that news has overshadowed what was going to be a very positive day where I was going to have a positive sports story again, because Jaromir Jagr is a legend. If JC Brown was playing for a Canadian team or a team in the northern half of the US, let's say in New York or Detroit, I don't think he gets the death threat necessarily. I really don't. If he was playing in the north east of the United States, let's say Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, or a team there or Columbus, he does not get the death threat because he's playing in a team in Florida at Tampa Bay. That's probably another reason why he's got the death threat as well. Because the local sport network will be a local derivative of Fox or CSN or wherever it is, and it's shown on the local cable, and people like, so just across the state border in like Georgia and Alabama will see that and go, right. And there are quite a few redneck loons in the Deep South, so and this is unacceptable, because I've posted a lot of videos about some of the negative things about sport in my country and the issues with drugs, player welfare, the whole Zach Hardacre thing where he's clearly got issues, how bad our national football side are. This is a story from across the Atlantic about a sport I love a lot. Right. And because one of the players, he's not kneeled in the anthem, he's not sat in the anthem, he is stood along with all his teammates. And some of them are European, and they are standing, and they're not even American. And he's now receiving death threats because he put his arm in the air going, I'm with you people, I understand, there is an issue, I am protesting. He's not saying that, oh, black power, he's not like a Black Panther, he's not like a militant, he's not raising a clenched naked fist with a glove on, right, at the 1970 Olympics. Nothing along those lines. He's basically said, this is my way of protesting through the anthem, saying there is something wrong with my country and it needs to be fixed, and now he's getting threatened. There you go. I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to see my comment section if people actually pick up on this guy nuts. But I'm actually for JC Brown. I don't give a toss what any bigots say, because any bigots who comment on this and give me and give threatening comments, you're banned, mate. You're getting reported. You're out. If you want to debate saying he shouldn't have protested during the anthem, that is fine. If you want to say, like, you think the protesters are being distracted by sportsmen, distracting from the issue by doing the big Photoshop protest, fine. I agree with that. I think the protest has gone on now. We get the point. There is an issue. It's not going to go away. You haven't resolved it by kneeling during the anthem. I understand that. But they have the right to protest. The fact that, I bet he's not the only one getting death threats, but the fact he's come forward and said, I've now received death threats from people saying they're going to shoot me, they're going to murder my family, whatever, and no other sportsman has, he's got balls. This guy's got balls. And I'm waiting to hear what the Tampa Bay Lightning, their response, and the NHL to the fact that a player has shown his right, has exercised his right to protest peacefully, which he has. He's not gone out there aggressively and made a statement with inflammatory comments. He's gone out there peacefully to say, look, I'm standing alongside white, black and Hispanic men who have kneeled during the NFL or locked arms during the NFL anthem at matches, especially at Wembley. And I'm saying there is an issue with my country. And he's been threatened for it. It's not right. We'll leave that there. Please like and subscribe and post in the comments, but please keep the comments sensible. If you are going to post, if you're going to be abusive and vile, you're out. I'm done. Thanks for watching.